welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. My name is Whitney and I'm on a weight loss journey. I am 30 years old and I'm 5'6". I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or VSG, which is a type of weight loss surgery, on October 27th, 2020. So I'm coming at you today for my 2-week post-op update. Before I jump into stats, I first just want to say thank you so much to all my new subscribers. I've had so many people subscribe to my channel in the last 2 weeks, and it's just really great. My goal here is really to give back. I feel like there are so many YouTubers out there that I learned so much from that have really helped me on my journey, and I want to give back by having this channel. And the more subscribers I have, the more visibility my channel gets, the better. So if you haven't already, if you like my content, please do hit that subscribe button, give this video a like. I would very much appreciate it. So with that, let's jump into stats. So my high weight when I started this journey back in about May was 282.4. I was required by my insurance to do 3 months of nutrition counseling. And during that time, it was actually a little bit, I was required to do 3 months of nutrition counseling, but it took a little bit more than 3 months from the time I started the program to when I had surgery. It was about 4.5 months, maybe a little bit more, that I lost about 23 pounds. So my weight on the day of surgery was 259 pounds even. I came at you last week at a weight of 255.2, and I come at you today, drum roll, at 250.8. So that is a weekly loss of 4.4 pounds and a total loss since my high weight of 31.6 pounds. So I feel pretty great about that. You know, it's weird because it's not that much more weight than I lost last week. I think my weekly, oh my God, I'm sorry. If you guys hear sounds, that's my cat opening drawers and digging through them. What was I saying? So last week, I think my weekly loss was about 3.8 pounds. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's cool, but whatever. I'm not thrilled about it. And this week I lost 4.4, which is not that much more. And for some reason, I'm really happy with that. I think I just like reality kind of set in of like, what, you're not going to drop 15 pounds in a week or something. I know some people do that at the beginning of their journey. You know, my body's different. I also think part of that is I'd already lost a pretty substantial amount of weight during the pre-op phase. And I think it was Shauna, I think that's her channel name. I'll link her down below. She's another VSGer. She was talking about this, that if you're kind of on like the lower end of the weight scale for getting VSG, then you're gonna lose a little bit slower than folks who are maybe have more weight to lose. And while she was talking specifically about folks under 250 pounds, and I'm obviously more than that. I'm pretty close to that. So it kind of makes sense that I'd be losing less. And I also talked to the program manager for the bariatric surgery program at the hospital I had, who also happens to be a friend of mine. And she was like, you're right on point. Like, this is exactly the pace you want to be losing at. So I'm happy. I mean, if I keep losing at this for even just a few months, like, I'm going to be in really good shape. So I feel great. Speaking of feeling great, physically checking in how I feel great. As I think I've mentioned before, I just feel like I've been so lucky in this journey that I really haven't had a lot of the, not complications, but kind of some of the unpleasant side effects that can come along with the surgery that a lot of people that I've watched, at least on YouTube, have suffered. I haven't dealt with the nausea or the vomiting. Everything I've eaten has sat really well with me. I'm really not having any issues. So I can't complain. My incisions are doing fine. I'm not going to show you my incisions today because they mostly look the same. The only thing, that's really changed is the steri strips are still on all of them but one. The steri strips did come off one of them today. All the rest of them still have steri strips on, although they have started peeling up, so I've kind of trimmed them, but there's just not much to see. But I'll probably give you an update next week because there's another one that I can tell the steri strips are probably going to come off like tomorrow. So then I'll have 2 to show you. And hopefully maybe more by next week. So I'll give you an incision update next week, but there's not much to see right now. On the one incision where the steri strips did come off, it's a pretty tiny one. It's the one here on the far right lower incision. It's not the big one where my stomach came out. It's one of the smaller ones. And it's really tiny. It's probably about 1 centimeter. And it looks fine. It's not inflamed or anything, and it's all closed. So we'll see. Like the steri strip just came off maybe an hour ago. So I kind of want to see what happens with it before I show you guys. So check back next week for an incision update. What else? So because I've been feeling good this week, I have focused on getting some exercise. The only exercise I'm cleared to do right now is just walking. So that is what I've been doing. I've been walking in the evening every night. So I basically eat dinner and then go for a walk, which works out really well because I'm not supposed to be drinking for at least 30 minutes after I eat. And I also get, I think I talked about this last week, I get like very gassy in my tummy when I eat. I have to burp a lot. And sometimes that gas kind of has a hard time finding its way out. I don't know if that's just me or if that's something a lot of people experience. I know one of the things I had to do pre-op was an esophageal manometry study, which is basically like they put this thing up my nose and down my throat, and it was like this, like it almost looked like a copper wire attached to a plastic tube, and it tested the pressure in my esophagus, which I guess is used to determine if you're high risk for heartburn after surgery, and if you are, maybe bypass is a better surgery for you than sleeve. Mine came back fine, but the doctor did tell me that I guess my sphincters, the openings in my esophagus are a little like tighter than is normal. Nothing to be concerned about, but I do think, or I do wonder if that has something to do with kind of some of this air that gets into my stomach having a hard way making its way out, so that I can burp it out. I don't know, but getting up and walking around really helps. So I get up, I do that after dinner, and it gets me exercise. It helps me get my burps out, and it keeps me from drinking for those 30 minutes. So it works great. Plus it's just nice to get out. So that has been that. The other fun thing that's happened is I'm actually filming this one day late. So yesterday, Tuesday, was my 2-week post-op, but the stats I gave you are all Tuesday stats. So I'm basing all of this on Tuesdays because I could tell you what I weighed in at today, but you're just gonna have to wait till next week. But I wanted to wait till today for 2 reasons. One is that I had today off work because it is Veterans Day. So I just had a little more time to do this. But also, I had my 2-week follow-up with the dietitian today, and I had a bunch of questions I wanted to ask him, and that way I could share it with you guys for this video. So the biggest thing I've been struggling with this week is that I advanced to purees, and all of that's been sitting fine. That's not the issue. It's actually been this crazy mind game because I feel like I was mentally prepared for so many things after surgery, but it's like the not having any of the issues that I thought I'd have and everything kind of running smoothly is like messing with my head. Because it's like everything I've had, I've been able to eat just fine. And I really haven't felt that physical like restriction in my tummy yet. So on my puree diet, I was allowed 2 ounces of food at a time. And so I would serve myself 2 ounces and I would eat it. And every single time I was able to eat the full 2 ounces, no problem, and felt like I could keep going. I didn't because I didn't want to hurt myself. I wanted to follow the rules exactly. They're there for a reason. But it just kind of got me freaked out. Like, oh my God, the surgery didn't work. Like, what if something's wrong with me? Like, what if I'm not going to lose the weight and this tool isn't going to work for me? And just like got going crazy because I had just never even considered that as a possibility, that like I would have this surgery and that I wouldn't feel the restriction. So That's been weirding me out a little bit, but after I talked to him, he was like, no, don't worry about it. Like you don't really need to, like, as long as you're not feeling like you're super hungry, it's fine. And I don't feel super hungry. I feel somewhere kind of between hungry and satiated after I eat, and then I wait and I drink some fluids, and then I'm fine. And I go on for a few more hours until it's time to eat again, and then I eat again, and it's kind of the same thing. And I just kind of live in this no man's land. And he said, that's fine. You know, that it's nothing to worry about. That I'm just doing what they told me to do. And, you know, my stomach happens to be more accommodating than some others, but it doesn't mean that anything's wrong. So, I felt a lot better about that. The other thing he told me is that I'm cleared to advance onto soft foods, which was kind of surprising. My little diet booklet thing said purees for 7 to 14 days. So I don't know why. I just assumed that I'd be on it for 2 weeks. But he was like, nope, go ahead, go on to soft foods. And on soft foods, I can also increase the volume of what I'm eating up to 4 ounces. So that's from going about a quarter of a cup. Sorry guys, the leggings that I'm wearing hit like right at my incision line, so it's kind of uncomfortable. My incisions don't really hurt, but it gets caught on the steri strips where they're pulling up, and it doesn't feel good. So had to adjust that situation. What was I saying? So I can go from a quarter cup of food to a half a cup of food, not immediately, but I can kind of step up a little bit. So I'm interested to see how that goes. I have already meal prepped a ton of stuff for purees. So I think what I'll probably do is keep eating that. And I really like all the stuff that I've made. And then just add a serving of vegetables that are allowed on the soft food diet to what I'm already eating for at least the first week of soft foods. And the reason for that's kind of twofold. One is that I already meal prepped all this stuff for purees, and so I don't want it to go to waste. The other thing is that gives me, if I do have any sort of food intolerances or any issues with the new things that I introduce, it'll be really easy for me to pinpoint what the issue is, because everything else will be foods that I was already eating for a whole week without any problem. So that's kind of the plan. Technically, I could have started on soft foods today, but I didn't because I hadn't gone grocery shopping for any of that stuff. So I just stuck with my purees. But I'll probably start on soft foods tomorrow. So, or maybe later this weekend. I'm pretty happy on the purees, so I'm not in a huge rush. But of course, more options is great, and I want to see what my tummy can handle. Excuse me. If you get this surgery, prepare to burp a lot. It's just part of your life. So, and I'm sorry, as always, I'm looking down to look at my notes. I think that's kind of it as far as update goes. I have posted since my last weekly update, I posted a what I eat in a day on the liquid diet, and I posted part 1 of my puree meal prep. I'll post part 2 a little bit later this week, which has some more dips and ricotta bake, and that's it. But stuff that I've been eating and really, really enjoying. So I'll probably put that up like Friday. I wasn't planning on doing a what I eat in a day on purees, but because I did the meal prep and kind of my shopping haul of things I bought, and so that's what I'm eating. I can film a what I eat in a day if any of you really want to see it, but it's just going to be me eating a portion of those things that you saw me meal prep. So if any of you feel strongly that you really want a what I eat in a day on purees, just let me know down in the comments and I'll film it. But otherwise, I'll probably skip that one and I'll do a soft foods what I eat, because I think there will be less meal prep happening for soft foods. It'll be more like, here's the dish I'm making and eating. So just let me know what your preference is. Also, let me know if you liked those meal prep style videos. They're a little longer and maybe you don't care, like maybe you already know how to make or whatever, but I know that I really like Erica on Time to Shrink. A lot of her meal preps, it gives me a lot of ideas that I wouldn't have come up with on my own. and I like cooking. So it seemed like kind of a natural fit, but if nobody cares, I won't post them. Just let me know what you think, what you like. And if there's anything you want to see that I haven't done, let me know that too. I'm happy to make, whatever you guys want within reason, of course. Just let me know. So I think that's all I have. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.